Then I was pushed to shift myself to the blue one. That, okay, fine, 7 साल 8 साल से काम कर रहे हैं, consistent पैसा बना रहा है, मजा नहीं आ रहा है. तो exponential growth कब आएगा? Next level पे कब जाएंगे? So that was the blue line. And today's world, when the cheapest thing in this today's world is money, everyone is talking about the JCurve, right? Which is the green color. Are you there with me, everyone? Can I get some response? Are you there with me? It's post-lunch session, so have some mercy on me. This is Zerodha. You guys know Zerodha? Can you see the growth? Can you see similarity? The green color? ये हमको क्या बोलता है? Zerodha, यहाँ FY14 है, but Zerodha started in 2009. I know Nitin Kamath personally. He started in 2009, and it took him almost 8 years to reach a point which is now he has seen the J-curve growth. And the growth did not happen just because he was there. Growth happened because the Kainat helped him to grow. And what was the Kainat? What happened in 2018 November? What happened in 2018 November? Demonetization. He was ready with eKYC. At the moment it happened, he was the first broker who got massive growth because everyone else was struggling with that eKYC. And then COVID happened. He was ready with his infrastructure. This is stockage. Still not J, but we are almost there for a big breakout. And it took us almost 8 years to reach where we have reached. और अभी तक हमारी कायनात तैयार नहीं हुई थी, अब तैयार हो गई है, right? So 3 pillars that cash flow based generating business. For me, these are 3 most critical things. One is vision. Vision. Ultimately, the entrepreneur has to have the vision and the conviction of that vision कि boss ये चलेगा ही. ये होगा ही because macros ऐसे हैं इंडिया में कि ये चलना ही है. When you talk to Nitin, he knew that this is going to happen. It was a matter of time. When I am running stockage, dealer markets, I know कि ये need है, जो कभी न कभी उभर आएगी. The second is survival, because that 7-8 years of pain, it's a real pain. And I heard someone talking about hair loss. Here I am, one more. So real pain of being an internet entrepreneur, which I've experienced in the last 7 years. So that survival instinct is the most important. And finally, what I've realized that the trust on your product, which you build, and the customer who stays with you because of the trust. So every entrepreneur should only focus on the word trust. अगर मैंने अपने इकोसिस्टम में ट्रस्ट डाल दिया, अपने एम्प्लॉय को मैंने स्टेक होल्डर पे ट्रस्ट दे दिया, अगर मैंने अपने कस्टमर को ट्रस्ट दे दिया, तो माई कायनात will be there to support me for my next level growth. So the presentation is how to create a profitable cash flow consumer internet business. How many of you are there in consumer internet business? Okay, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. How many of you are there in B2B business here? And what are other people doing? Are you there in the physical consumer business or the service business? Okay, sure. So one thing for sure I'm telling you that this is not only relevant for consumer internet business. Even if you are in service business or B2B business, what we have done, you have to follow that. Because we are living in a very different world. Post-COVID is a different world we all are living in. And we have to accept that reality. So, whenever we talk about the secret sauce, there are 2 perspectives. One is from the business side and the other is from the personality side. So, every business has a personality. And you guys are entrepreneurs, you know that you are one personality, but your business is another personality. So when I am talking to my business, I'm talking to a personality. When we are discussing internally with our team member, we always have one chair, which is our business, which is the personality. And we talk to that business. Until as you realize that you are different from your business, you are a different personality, Yes, your business will get influenced by your personality, but finally you want that business to have a unique identity beyond you. So the personality is defined by opportunity, the audience you are catering to, the people you are working with, that's I think the ultimate, and finally the product which will lead to trust among your customers. So जैसा ही लोग कहते हैं ना कि luck only favors the people who help themselves. So कायनात will only favor people who help themselves. And when you are talking about helping yourself, you're talking about what's your edge. How many of you know your edge? Raise your hand very confidently. How many of you know your edge? See, only 5%? 95% of us don't know our edge. This is the first question you have to go back and ask yourself कि मेरा edge क्या है? चाहे मेरा customer मेरे पास आएगा, forget about customer, कोई employee मेरे को join करेगा, क्यों करेगा? Customer तो बहुत दूर की बात है. अभी तो challenge ये है कि employee अच्छे retain करना और अच्छे लोगों को pull करना is the biggest challenge an entrepreneur is facing. And an employee will not come to an ordinary person. Every employee these days want to work with a ideal, with a personality, with a persona. So you have to figure out what is your edge. Second, what kind of opportunity you see. But I've given presentations to a couple of VCs, and I've sat on a number of presentations that finally is the size of the opportunity that matter. And perseverance, as I said, that it's a lonely world. At times you do feel lonely when you wake up at 2 o'clock and then you ask your question, ki maine galat kya kiya? So that's the kind of, because internet is huge. Internet is like unlimited opportunities, but that with unlimited opportunities, you get to see unlimited threats as well. Because कहीं भी कोई भी कुछ भी कर सकता है इंटरनेट में और आपका बिजनेस को क्वेश्चन कर सकता है. That's the kind of uncertainty we live when you are doing internet services. And people finally, how do you get good people? How do I get good people? I've been very lucky that I got right partners at the right time. How do you get good people? Only through network. कोई भी placement agency, and I'm sure some of you would be providing that service, none of the placement agency can give you good people. The good people in your organization, and आप देखो अपने organization में, just go and check the list of people who are still with you and who have been a performer with you. Most of them guys would be either through references or your own network. And your network is not just physical network, the virtual network, which is far more bigger than the physical network. So your network is truly your net worth in terms of recruiting, in terms of business opportunities. So network accessibility, limitless thinking, and I truly mean this, limitless thinking and constantly challenging yourself to adapt to the new norm. I was a very introvert person. I started my career as an analyst. I'm still standing here and talking is something which I can't think. My mind is saying, ये तुम है जो बोल रहा है. I was an introvert person. I started my career as an analyst. I wanted to become a trader. I started in 2013 because trading is a lovely occupation for an introvert. क्योंकि दुनिया से बात ही नहीं करना है, खाली स्क्रीन से सामने बात करना है. But then I realized if I have to create internet business, I cannot be introvert. I have to open up. I have to connect with everyone who is there on internet. And that's what changed me. So your adaptability to limitless thinking is important for an internet world. And the most critical is leadership. And I say this with a lot of conviction that please do not get into the trap of identifying only top 2-3 leaders. Don't get into this trap. Every employee of a company should have leadership potential. Even the peon who you are recruiting, you have to make sure that उसमें leadership potential होना चाहिए. Because finally, अगर leadership traits नहीं है, हो सकता है उसमें से 10 में से 7 लोग चले जाएंगे. But जो 3 लोग leader आपके पास रह जाएंगे, they can do wonderful work. I have a lot of case studies in my company who started with 10,000 rupees month salary, and today they are drawing 22 lakh because they had leadership skills. So I don't look at leaders on the top only. Every recruitment should have this compulsory trait कि तुम leader बन सकता है क्या, right? And as they say that, customer is your biggest investor. We all are craving to get heavy names in our cap table. But for me, the most important person is your customer, and the money which your customer will give is a long term, and they will not ask for an exit, right? Rather, you don't want them to exit. So the focus on customer is so important. Uh, Change agent. This is very important. So based on my limited experience of 17 years in working, I've seen the world dynamics is changing every 4 to 5 years. And there are agents who change these dynamics. Let's take an example of social media influencer. Now, where is this concept came from? Someone would have tried this. Maybe 4, 5, 6 people would have tried this, and it worked. And then other people started looking at them and kept on working on it. So there are change agents. You have to identify who are the change agents. Are you getting this point? Yeah, it's not easy to know. I mean, you may say that Ankur Warikoo is a change agent, but Ankur Warikoo is not made as an original Ankur Warikoo. He probably would have got influenced by someone else somewhere. It's our role as an entrepreneur to find out who is the change agent and can we, in some form, get inspired from that person. CAC. So, Abhishek, we talked in the morning, talked about CAC, costs of acquiring a customer, which is the most important thing for an internet business because you know what is happening in the world right now? So you're pumping a lot of money to Googles and Facebooks of the world, and then eventually you are raising money from VCs. And if you see the whole ecosystem, finally Google and Facebook or Apple, they are probably the LC in one of those VCs. तो हो क्या रहा है? पैसा VCs दे रहे, finally Google, Facebook को जा रहा है और फिर उन्हीं का पैसा घूम के आ रहा है. This is what is happening in the world. And in this process, sure, a lot of people have made a lot of wealth. But then finally, as someone like me who want a unit economics to be 100% clear, CAC is the most important thing which any internet business needs. So that CAC and the perfect funnel. Perfect funnel, typically free guys, then users, register users, then paid users. This is the classic funnel building activity. But funnel is changing. Every 3 years, new platform is emerging, which is giving you that funnel ability. For example, YouTube was huge 7 years ago. Today, Instagram is huge. Maybe next 3 years, henceforth, you will see some other platform becoming huge. So adaptability to all these new platforms is important if you are doing an internet-based business. I hope I'm not scaring you guys. It's a great business to do because internet business gives you unlimited possibilities. But yes, there are certain do's and don'ts one has to follow. So product is finally a derivative of trust. The product ecosystem. Now, what I've realized, a single product company, it's difficult to survive in an internet world. It's difficult. People do survive. So in B2B, single product company does very well. But in B2C, one has to create an ecosystem. So talk about Zoho. Talk about Zerodha. Zerodha is a single product, but they have created ecosystem like Sensible, Small Case, and you see many such examples. The mother of all example is Google. From search engine, they are complete ecosystem now. So for us, if we are thinking of internet business, we have to think about ecosystem. Second, unfair advantage. So I read in an article a couple of years ago that agar aap bootstrap entrepreneur hai and you want it to be that way, at least for some time, then you have to have some unfair advantage. So there is a concept of moat, which is widely popularized by Warren Buffett, right? Moat, you guys understand moat? Yeah. So I say now moat has become unfair advantage. कि आपके पास कुछ ऐसा है जो उसके पास है ही नहीं. जैसे stockage, Elon markets में today Vivek Bajaj is there, which is like I'm the one, right? If you have to talk to me, if you have to consume my services, you have to come to me. Or Tesla में Elon Musk hai, right? So individual becomes quite big as an unfair advantage. That may not be the right thing, wrong thing for you. Maybe you'll have to figure out some other unfair advantage which you have. And lastly, the unit economics. That एकदम वो जो होता है ना कि you should have that father who should tell you every day कि आज कमाया है क्या, right? My father keeps on asking me this question कि ये stockage में तुम पैसा बनाता है क्या, तुम कर क्यों रहा है? Now, how do I explain this to him that user acquisition and then finally they will pay me and all those things? No. And I like him asking me this question because then I am connected to the real world as well. So survival kit for an internet entrepreneur is extremely crucial. So evolve, upgrade, and conquer. If you don't upgrade, this world is very ruthless for people who are out of sight, out of mind, and you may be kicked out. Your product may be kicked out of the system. So what is the unfair advantage I created? So as an introvert, it was important for me to become an extrovert, start facing camera, and obviously my MBA qualification helped me in doing that, and then start creating an identity on internet world. And I was good in identifying opportunities, so I got hold of two platforms, YouTube and Twitter. Twitter is a great platform because that helps you to connect with anyone in the world. And it's such an advantage which you have. I'm recording some great videos with amazing people from US. Thanks to Twitter, I was able to connect with them. So now I don't need XYZ to connect me to anyone. If that person is there on Twitter, I can go and talk to that person directly. And YouTube has taken us to Bharat. The way YouTube has penetrated in last 4 years, अगर आप एक्चुअल में इंडिया का ग्रोथ देखना चाहते हैं तो आप भारत में जाइए, रियल ग्रोथ वहीं हो रहा है. और YouTube, TikTok and other platforms, now TikTok is obviously not there, Instagram, other platforms, they have reached there. So you have to use those platforms which is taking you to the real place where the growth is happening in India. So I started recording videos. I've recorded 160 videos in Elon Market's YouTube channel. And really nice content. Some great people have given me. Then I started my own personal YouTube channel. And there was a reason for me to do that this new world needs individual identity behind a product. And I loved, someone in the morning said that video record करना चालू कर दो बस. ये मत सोचो कि क्या होगा, कैसा होगा, क्योंकि चालू वैसे ही किए थे फोन में ऐसे करके. One of the biggest YouTubers in India is Bhuvan Bam, who just uses his phone and records all the kind of videos, and look at the money he's making. Well, the question is not, do we become an influencer? I'm not an influencer. But as an entrepreneur, my company is a personality which needs me to do all these things. So I have to do it. But after a point of time, I'll move out. And I will create Stockage brand itself so big that probably that brand may not need me the way it is needing me right now. So ecosystem, that is what we got hold of, and we created an ecosystem. So this is the roadmap of a retail investor. So when an investor comes, the investor wants to learn. So we launch Elon Markets. Then the investor wants to analyze. Access of data is important. There is Bloomberg, which is a lakh of rupee per month. A normal investor cannot afford. Sure, Stockage, 3,000 rupees a year. You get access to all the data points you need for understanding of market. Then you need to collaborate with like-minded people. So Stockage Social is there. And finally, the D2C platform, which helps people to transact with their respective broker. Not that I'm trying to market my product, but I'm saying that the thought process of ecosystem, that figure out कि ये पूरा ecosystem में gap कहाँ है, and then start plugging in those gaps. And we have been able to do it organically. But yes, there are these days some really good investors who can support you in this journey of building an ecosystem. So the new world order, as I said, was social media. So we have almost 1.5 million subscribers, almost 100 million views in our channel. And we are doing some decent work. There is lots of scope. India has just started with financial inclusion. बहुत बड़ा population है. अभी डीमैट सिर्फ 9 करोड़ है. यहाँ से 15 करोड़ होने वाले हैं. और उसके बाद बैंक अकाउंट कितने हैं? तो डीमैट तो होगा ही. So it's just the starting of that journey of financial inclusion in India, and we are pretty much ready. That's why we said that we are at the crux of that JCurve growth. If we do things rightly, then we will probably become the next good thing in markets. So the path to JCurve, it took us almost 7 to 8 years to reach here. 4 million plus users in our platforms, mostly organically. We had to give money to Googles and Facebooks of the world to acquire users. That's why our CAC is very low, and our contribution margin. So typical first transaction revenue divided by CAC is more than 1. That means if a client is transacting first, we make money. उसके बाद अगर वो कर दिया तो वो मेरे लिए लॉटरी है, लाइफ टाइम वैल्यू में ऐड होता है. So that is helping us to remain profitable. We did tried a lot of things last year because we got money from Kotak. They invested, they took 10% stake in our company. तो बैंक में पैसे आते हैं तो सबके मन में लड्डू फूट पड़ता है कि डालो, अब पैसा डालो. So finally we realized that giving money to Facebooks and Googles of the world, it's not great for an entrepreneur like us who want to build a long-term business ecosystem. So we reached 100 million views, and we are currently doing ARR of around $3 million, and hoping from now on, we should grow very aggressively. Thank you. This is it from my side. Okay, that's a great question, Kamal bhai. As a country, we don't pay generally. हमको free चीजें बहुत पसंद आती है, right? But this is changing. When we started, that's where the first 5 years of struggle, when you are giving free constantly, because you want people to come to your platform first. It took us almost 6 years to figure out कि किस चीज के लिए वो लोग pay करेंगे, and then we started asking for money. So it's a freemium model, lot of free. The things which we have already given free, now we can't charge for that. But whatever we are doing now, it's part of the premium plan. Is that number great? It is good now. It was bad last year, last to last year. It was really bad 4 years ago. So what COVID has done, at least for entrepreneurs like us, the sensitivity towards subscribing to value-added products has gone up in India. Maybe it started with Netflix, but overall people have realized that free hota hai or premium hota hai. So that is happening now. But the journey of an entrepreneur, of internet entrepreneur, which a lot of VCs support during that time, but we took that other route, let us keep on supporting our business the way we want it to be.
Excuse me, sir. This side. Towards your left.
Yeah.
Okay. So as an entrepreneur, I am sure you must be involved in hiring the leaders for your organization initially. And like a strong team. Okay. Audible now? Sir, am I audible?
Can you repeat this now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So as an entrepreneur, I am sure you must be involved in hiring the right team for your organization, at least initially. So how do you figure out a leader while recruiting the team for your organization? Or how do you find that? Because as you said, leaders are important in the organization to grow.
The best way to identify leader is through references. आप बैठो ना, लोगों से बात करो ना, अपने टीम मेंबर के साथ तो बैठो, उनको बोलो ना, अरे 10 रेज्यूमे तो भिजवा दे, कल फिर फॉलो अप कर लो, परसों फॉलो अप कर लो. The best people we have recruited in our organization is through references. Nothing else works. अगर naukri.com से बंदा आ गया तो उसका रेज्यूमे naukri.com में है, ये बात आपको समझनी पड़ेगी. But वो भी चाहिए. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there is no relevance of a placement agency or naukri.com. But those team members are satellite team. आपका कोर टीम जो है वो मोस्टली रेफरेंसेस से ही बनता है और उसको आप बहुत कमिटेड लॉन्ग टर्म वेल्थ क्रिएटिंग पाथ दिखाते हैं, देन ओनली दैट पर्सन स्टेज विथ यू. अदरवाइज टिपिकली पीपल डोंट जॉइन कॉम्पिटिटर, पीपल मूव आउट ऑफ द इंडस्ट्री.
Hi Vivek, this is Pulkit. I just wanted to ask you, like you had a trading background, so how did you come up with the idea of building the tech platform and how did you go about it?
You had what?
Building the tech platform of StockEdge. So how did you go about that?
So, see, technologies again, so there are some things which you are very passionate about. So even though I used to trade, I used to get very fascinated with tech. So I was one of the initial adopters of algo trading in India when SEBI rule came in 2008. So I created a team of algo traders. We recruited a couple of IITians. So my fascination for new things has always been there. So because I knew tech, how it works, although I'm a CA, but I knew tech quite well. So it was a natural inclination to try something else beyond trading in the tech world only. So I used to run an academy called Credent Academy in Calcutta, which was more of a, जो होता है ना शौकिया लोग पढ़ाते हैं, तो मैं 2008 से लेके 2013 तक पढ़ाता था लोगों को. And then I realized that because I have this experience of connecting with retail audience as a teacher, I can also try doing online something e-learning side. तो उसके लिए टेक का वर्किंग चालू किया गया.
Hello, this side. My name is Devakar. I have a very personal question with you. What your plan for building for Bharat to stockage? Means stockage.
So it's not very clear.
Your plan for building for Bharat, your company stockage. What's your plan?
It's a beautiful question. Thank you so much for asking this question. So what is real Bharat? We have to understand what is real Bharat. There are two sides of real Bharat. One who is aspiring to become equivalent to a urban or maybe India. Let's call it India. And there's the other side which is still living in that chill hai mode and playing all kind of games. Okay? It's very difficult to pull that audience for a serious activity. They're happy with what they're doing. But the other Bharat, which is really, really eager now, because everyone wants that new smartphone. Everyone wants BMW, Mercedes. The craving for luxury has gone up in our country so much. Now that Bharat really is looking forward to people in India who can help them to become closest to India. Now where is Stockage doing? The transition from Hindi to English, the concept of financial market, taking to those people in their local language, चाहे वो stockage है, चाहे e-learn markets है, and then gradually shifting them to the mainstream product. That is the role. And it's a very tough battle. It's not easy because सबसे बड़ा इसे problem क्या है कि भारत पे नहीं करता है. इंडिया पे करने लग गया है, भारत पे नहीं करता है. कुछ भी आप चार्ज करने लग जाओगे तुरंत पीछे हो जाएंगे लोग. तो वही 5 साल लगेंगे, लेकिन we'll see more people paying eventually.
Hello.
We can take one more question, last question. Go ahead, good. Yes. Hare, so sweet.
You have a Stockage as a brand and Vivek Bajaj as a brand also. Are you not spreading yourself thin?
Yeah.
My question to you as an entrepreneur.
Yes, sir. It's a very valid question. So when we created Stockage, we had to increase our reach. Now, as a product, it can reach when you put a lot of fuel inside that product, especially on the marketing side. So we had two options. Either we spend a lot of money, raise money from VCs, spend a lot of money, and create that brand visibility, right? The other option, and by the way, I did try VC raise. I don't want to sound very humble कि मैंने तो VC से पैसा नहीं लिया, देखो मैं तो bootstrap दूं, ऐसा नहीं है. Even Nitin Kamath tried VC funding, उसको पैसा नहीं मिला था. Even I tried VC funding in 2019, मुझे पैसा नहीं दिया. क्यों नहीं दिया? क्योंकि उनको लगता था स्टॉक मार्केट इतना सा चीज है, इसके लिए स्कोप ही नहीं है. Well, but it was difficult for me to convince them the fact that ये इतना ही है, इसीलिए तो इसमें स्कोप है. अगर ये इतना हो जाएगा तब तक तो स्कोप जा चुका है. But nonetheless, that was a different story. So for me, it was a choice कि अभी अपने पास पैसा नहीं है और अपने को काम करना है. So the other thing which was most obvious that India में there is a very strong cult following culture in India. And if there is one person who is very sensible, typically in India, especially in Bharat, you see, you develop that strong trust for the person, for the product. It's just that I need to be very honest. So I took that route. My partners were generous enough to allow me to take that route. Because वो partnership firm में हमेशा एक problem होता है कि अगर एक को बहुत ज़्यादा limelight मिलता है तो दूसरा परेशान होने लग जाता है. But my partner knew that ये कर लेगा. So that's why they allowed me to do that. But now for us, it is important that the organization move beyond me, and we have our plans to do that.
Vivek sir, one last question. So I loved how you said that the two most important things for an internet business is the customer acquisition cost and the perfect funnel, right?
Yeah.
So when you say a perfect funnel, do you mean a sales process which you think will work out for your target market, or you you advise us to test stuff out and build on top of the data that we acquire from the market?
So when I use funnel, basically the larger audience you are catering to, but not all audience will pay you at a point of time. So reaching to that audience, and some of them will come to our platform because they start believing in you, and not all will come, right? Even if you get 20-25% of that audience come to your platform with an intent to buy, maybe they'll not buy still, and they stay with you, they get engaged with you, and finally 5 to 6% of the larger audience, you will make them your customer. So that funnel, entire the pyramid, that has to be well thought first.
So do you think one should go with a funnel which they think will convert, or they should test and go with the data?
It's a trial and error, very honestly.
Okay, so with the data, right?
Yeah,
So you test upon.
it has to be trial and error with the data, because we have tried 100 things and 2 have probably worked, 90 has not worked.
Absolutely.
You should be smart enough to stop things which are not working.
Absolutely.
हमने loss भी बहुत काटा है, और I am a trader, so I know how to cut my stop loss.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Vivek, last question, please.
Yes.
Somnath here. So what we understand, there is something we call the core business of yours.
Yeah.
And there are few things we need to outsource. If your organization is growing by 10x, 15x, 20x and all, you need to outsource few things, and then you need to focus on your core business. So when you are building your team and all, then this recruitment staffing agencies come in picture, because you have to outsource these things. Otherwise, you can't get the right person in your team, only sitting with few of your people. So do you feel that the organizations who are doing it, they are outsourcing it, they are not doing everything end to end themselves, they are somehow getting deviated from their core business?
Not really, sir. I think we have 5 agencies, we have outsourced our work to them. And we always consider them to be part of our team only.
Okay, so you want to be done in both ways. Are
Yes,
you telling
it
that?
has to be. I mean, there are some people who are so good and you can't afford them. What do?
So you are telling
appoint
that
them.
internal networking and external networking, both the
Yes.
things are required.
Both has to be done, yeah.
So you are not negating one.
Yeah, I'm not negating one. Sorry if I have come across that way.
No,
not
I'm just
negating
asking
one.
because there are many friends sitting around from agencies and all. Thank you.
Thank you.